to perpetuity, and yonder. This week on The Hapless Heroes.
I request the adult drink coffee.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I am your host and DM as we sit around a much rounder table than last time. Whatever table you imagined we were sitting at last time, it is far rounder.
Rotund.
Joining me at this table to tell a very silly story is Dave playing Yeti.
Like, we really can't overstate how round this table is.
Further around this table with no corners is Mike as Captain Brock Stark.
There is a K at the end.
Nicole as Uliana Zangiv.
I don't know where these tables keep coming from. We're in the middle of driving. We're about to be thrown out of a van and a carpet, and yet there's this round table here.
Correction, you already exited the van.
Yeah.
And yet there's this round table here. Here.
You have fun with that. To her left, Sebastian is Nikita Zangiv.
I'm pretty sure we're out of Molotov cocktails.
And Lewis as Morris DeLume, homeowner and felon.
No relation.
And homeowner.
I did say that.
But twice.
Back-to-back homeowner.
Last week on the show, we cut the camera back here to Concordia sometime in the past. And in a chase scene that I completely expected to end up in some sort of crash or, just situation that would leave our party, back in custody, essentially, injured.
Yeah.
Somehow have
Now he
managed
admits
to
it.
navigate their way into this secret launch facility that the Intergalactic Arcane Initiative owns. Not that was some distance away from Arcadia Heights, and are now sneaking in with the authorities know you're here and they are after you, but you are sneaking into one of the ancillary buildings in this large facility. This is one of these buildings that's connected to a large domed structure in the center of this complex that you decided to sneak into. So I'm just going to get right back into it. And as you enter this building, you can see that this loading bay type area that you've entered in from, there's like a bunch of loading platforms immediately as you enter, and then further in to this like just large warehouse type structure is like a bunch of different machinery that seems to have been processing crystals. These like dark purple crystals. And machining them into very specific shapes. The assembly line is shut down. There does not appear to be anything happening in here at this point, but you can see that there was some sort of like line of crystals being fed, being sort of cut down and manufactured in here. I mean, these are still very long. Like the crystals themselves, even though they've been shaped and cut in like, into precise dimensions, are still like, upwards like in length of like 15 to 20 feet long. Like these are these big conveyor belts. And you can see that these belts are feeding into like a wall opening that has like sort of like an open sort of garage, like open shut, like sort of seal on it that's open and into another room. And there are a set of double doors on either side to your left and right, straight ahead. On the back wall that would probably enter into whatever this building that's connected to it is where those belts are feeding into. You can see that, towards the door, there are also catwalks that are kind of, is that this is all just one big structure. There's no like multiple floors. It's all just catwalks in this big ass facility. You can see that there's some people, like some sciencey looking folks, of all different anthropomorphized species. I mean, you got, you got Giffen here. You got Doar. You've got like fox-looking people of some kind. You have Ursine people, and they seem to be like just looking at different like clipboards and notes and things like that. They have not seemed to hear you enter, but like they seem to be there seems to be like a buzz or a chatter. Like these people seem to know that something's going on here, but you can't really hear exactly what they're talking about. It doesn't really like echo towards you.
We're just here to replace some carpets.
Haven't seen you enter. But those are towards they're like above towards where the doors are, and you can hear that there's some activity happening beyond that because it is just this big open facility. But you can't really tell. It's just like clanging and other types of sounds and more conversations. Okay, there's a lot of machinery in here. There's a lot of like big conveyor belts, big crystals on these belts. It's kind of what this room is mostly comprised of. You know what I mean? And then these loading doors where you can see that there's a lot of like the unprocessed crystalline material here in both larger and smaller chunks. You get just a bunch of different like open crates and shipping containers.
Oh boy.
What do you do?
Plausible deniability in a carpet. Good luck deciding, my friends.
Yeah, I guess the children are rolled up in the carpets. So what do the adults want to do about this and sneaking into a facility where you are being sought?
Thank God I'm wearing
three
a
of us.
pillowcase.
He's still wearing the pillowcase and
He's still wearing the pillowcase.
and the coveralls.
Yes.
All right.
The pillowcase.
I love how we're back to the original plan, gang. This is great.
Yeah, to steal a spaceship, ?
We probably need to switch from carpet to something else, though.
It's up to
Yeah,
you,
I
my
was
friend.
thinking about that. I just don't know what we could in a
Yeah.
haste.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, Green in a trench coat?
Like,
In a carpet
I mean,
coat.
it's
Would
not
you like to make a
stupider
perception
than
check?
Would I like
me?
to? Sure.
Anyone?
I would love to.
Carpet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, Yeti is going to. And
I mean, I'm inside a carpet. Should I do it at disadvantage?
Sure, yeah.
a mediocre
Just-
10.
I rolled a
Mediocre
21.
Jeez.
Can you do
Louise.
something
18
for
plus
me?
13.
7 is my worst roll.
Oh, okay. Well, Morris, luckily, you happen to see kind of off to the side, closer to where you are, you entered in from this like little side door next to the loading bay. There appears to be some like small locker room with just like some like smaller like employee lockers and things like that,
I kind of nudge Yeti with one of my elbows, I guess, and point in that direction, whichever elbow is available to me.
Hey, look over there. That we can steal one of their clothes, put it on us, get through here.
Yeah, two of you are in uniform, but the rest of you are not.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be looking for.
No, that's a good
carpets,
idea. We got to ditch this thing.
They're gonna be looking for carpets.
Well, I mean, listen, disembodied voice in the sky. This thing is pretty obvious.
No, I mean
It's
you're
your
right.
They'll never know.
You just ignore
I'm
the
simply
consciousness.
I'm simply commenting on the fact that this is a statement that was stated in this episode, is that they're going to be looking for carpets, and that is
Yeah.
a real thing.
Yeah. So, yes. No, I agree.
I make haste in that direction.
Yeah,
Come
you
on,
guys
Mark.
duck into the locker
Yeah.
room.
That
Thankfully, there's
validation.
There is nobody currently in here. Not all the lockers appear to be closed. There are
Am I
like
still in the carpet?
Yeah, there are some like articles of like some kind of protective like clothing that are hanging like freely in the room that aren't in lockers. Like we're talking like I'm not gonna call it a hazmat suit, but it does appear to be like a full coverall, including like a sealed like helmet. Probably for handling certain materials, right? I mean, it could be kind of like a radiation suit, but it doesn't appear as like, it's not marked as such. It just appears to be a full body, like protective suit. There's a couple of those hanging up in here. Otherwise, you may have to look into breaking into some lockers. There are lockers of many different sizes, heights, and shapes because of the varying, needs and heights of the people that would make use of them. So
the
Sorry,
first thing,
did somebody drag me in here in a carpet, or did I get a chance to get out of the carpet before coming into this room?
no, Yeti carried the carpet in here with the kids inside it.
So we're just still in the carpet right now.
Yes.
Cool. Just making sure.
Now that we're in the room, Yeti sets down the carpet, and the first thing he does is block the door while you guys, close the door. Try to find if there's a lock on it, lock it, or just put the bulk of his weight up against it.
sure, yeah. So you're kind of semi-barricading the room right now to give yourself a little privacy.
Yeah.
From anyone who may want,
Yeah.
think what you're
Thankfully,
doing is suspicious.
Yeti should be bulky enough where if someone's pushing on the door, it should basically feel the same as if it were a locked door.
You can hear from inside one of the lockers like that little like almost like a chime, like of a radio, and like some very very low like kind of talk. It's very muffled, like the volume is very low, and then it just cuts out. But it almost sounds like sort of like portable radio is like in someone's locker right now.
Well, that sounds like a job for someone that knows how to open things gracefully.
Which is none of you.
I can put some more grease on it, but that's all I got.
I'll wiggle my way out of the carpet eventually. I'll look up. I'll roll my Thrakeen eyes, which will probably look hilarious because they're massive beetle eyes. I'll wait for Uliana to pop out.
Yeah, I'd wiggle out once I felt the initial wiggling happening from the other side of the carpet.
Sorry, I have a little bit of vertigo because you were upside down, then I was upside down. Mr. Yeti did not carry us very carefully. But you still have that knife on you, correct?
I reach back into the carpet and pull out the knife.
The kitchen knife.
Do you remember when Da kept the magazines in the safe to stop us from reading them and getting good deals?
Getting good deals.
Yes, because
I remember when he tried to.
Yes. Would you mind opening this locker for us?
Oh yeah, I go and attempt to just
Call it the shimmy.
The locker open.
The shimmy. You put it in between. I'm teaching all of our audience right now. If it's just a standard bar lock, you can just shimmy something sharp and heavy in there, and
don't break into people's things.
You can pop open the top, and if it's a simple,
do not commit crimes.
If it's simple, if it's a complex lock, this wouldn't work. But yeah, you give it a shot.
Well, let's find out. Can you give just a sleight of hand, Uliana?
How many bardic inspirations do I get? Am I out now? I used 2. I shouldn't have any. Heck.
I don't need one. That's okay. 19.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a little like, jigging, but yeah, you managed to pry open this locker. And inside, there appears to be like some more like plain clothes and a radio and an ID badge for a Dr. No, I was just trying to find the right first name. It was Dr. Goldie Bearson.
I just love that one of the 3 adults is gonna have to play a doctor, and that's crazy.
Oh, damn it. I was about to take that, but yeah, I guess it's more smart for one of the adults to.
Goldie Bearson.
Juliana.
Okay, is there a photo on this ID?
No.
That's convenient. That's good.
At least not this one. You can, I mean, you know, there might be multiple IDs or cards or things to get through this facility. You don't really know. This one is just sort of a name,
Yeah,
name,
wait a second.
name tag.
Yeti can't even check this anyway. He's up against the door. You guys got to.
Well, okay, but yeah, just being clear though.
Yeah.
He's our meat
You can
lock.
hear some of the chatter on the radio saying something about, you know, the secretary is here for the inspection. We have to get things under control.
Oh. Secretary. What the fuck is that?
And he just, you know, there's different conversations happening. They go, and he signed to them. Nope, still looking. We saw them dip into the, you know, the crystallarium, but we just, you know, we got some people heading that way now.
I would look at Brock, who was enlisted in this whole thing at one point, and I would go,
This is not a facility you've been to, Brock, unfortunately.
sure,
No, I'm not familiar.
but do you know who this secretary is? Everyone seems to be in a tizzy.
Brock, would you like to make me a very nominal history check?
This seems like an important
Sure.
plot point.
It is an 11.
There was a new Secretary of Interstellar Affairs appointed recently to oversee the IAI, as there was a, you know, a bit of a lapse in the faith, the people's faith in their, you know, capabilities, given the disaster of the first launch. So this is like a actual government person and not just a private science institution person. They're talking about actual like world government person.
I relay what I know to the group.
Oh. Well, do you think he will have security with him?
I mean, as a world politician, I would assume yes.
This just got more scary.
If he was newly appointed, do you think they know what he looks like?
That is a very good point. My 8-year-old mind is spinning with the possibilities.
Your 8-year-old mind is probably about the right intelligence to play the secretary for this particular section of the government, I would think.
We have a group full of adults here.
Like, no, the 8-year-old's the right one.
The
I'm
8-year-old.
literally,
the two of
I'm
you
literally
in a trench
picturing
coat.
the two of them. Yep, standing on top of each other.
I'm willing to entertain this angle.
Is there a trench
Yeah, I
coat
can
with
see
these
it.
lines? Or a
I mean, it would not make sense for me to pretend
Yeah,
to be
the
the secretary.
Lab coat. We need a lab coat for Dr. Goldie Bearson.
Yes. There's a lab
Yeah,
coat
and
here.
a trench coat for secretary. Do we know
Yeah,
the secretary's name?
At this point, given the ease of you breaking into this one locker, I'll say you're able to assemble some kind of wardrobe out of what's, you know, available to you here. Describe to me how everyone is going to try to disguise themselves. I really want to hear this.
Oh my god.
I mean, okay, do we know the secretary's name? I feel like we at least need the name if we're going to try to pretend to be the secretary by being
What
the two
was the
of us in a
result of that
trench coat.
history? What was the result of that history check again?
11, I think he said. Right, Mike?
Not enough to recall the details
Sorry, yes.
of the name of this Secretary of Interstellar Affairs.
Maybe we
George
take the
something.
radio. George, we could work with that. Maybe we take the radio and listen, and maybe they slip up and say something we want to hear.
Oh, that is smart.
I'm just getting into character. I'm the secretary. I'm the secretary. What do you think? Does that sound Concordian enough? Common?
I think you're doing a great job.
I think you sound amazing.
I am legs. I am legs.
You are the best legs. You know this. You are so much stronger than me. I look around at the adults. Have you finished assembling your costumes?
I mean,
I think
so we're not
Morris
just going to stick with the
has,
coveralls?
I mean, you can just try to stick with the coveralls and just try to be inconspicuous. It's more the children that are going to have to really figure out how to be two kids in a trench coat trying to pose as a government official that was newly appointed.
I feel like, I mean, if I'm being honest, wouldn't it be a little easier to just try to maybe wear one of the uniforms and blend in than try to pretend to be a government official? It seems like a really high-risk maneuver.
But I already got the voice down and everything.
Well, can you use it for, like, you know, Sam, the, you know, wears a hazmat suit man?
I huddle with Uliana. He doesn't bring up a bad point. It would be more efficient to be secretive. But the power
There are
eludes
those
me.
protective suits that could help at least like mask your general appearance, potentially.
Do we listen to Yeti Man?
I think we can do both. If we dress like the secretary underneath and then put on the hazmat suit and we have to ditch the first costume, we have a backup plan.
I leave the huddle. This is agreeable to us.
We continue putting
You know what?
we
If they wanna
continue
double
putting
bag
on
it,
the
go
trench
for
coat
it.
and dress shirt though.
Okay, incredible. Yes, I'll say you find some like, you know, dress wear, right? Like some, and then you're able to then
if
put
it-
the
If it helps sell the hazmat suit, then good.
yeah.
I would like to point
it's
out-
it's gonna be stuffy, but you know.
I would like to point out one thing that you, GM, forgot about that is going to 100% happen. There is going to be the head, of course, but then there's also the legs. And on those legs is a average-sized horn that is 100% going to not be accounted for in the clothing that we are wearing. So whoever we are playing is definitely going to look like they
I imagine it's like you have a suit that's made for a GIF. So like you have to, it's like stretched in strange places, like where the horn is.
no, but
pushing
I
it up.
get what Seb is saying because I think where my horn is going to be as the person representing the legs means we're going to be carrying a clipboard the whole time.
Thank you. That is exactly what I was trying to
no.
Is it customary to just put a box over it or something?
You can use like the carpet as like padding to kind of fill out the suit so that it doesn't feel like it's two beetles standing on each other's shoulders.
I mean, we can if we want. We should probably
I
roll
guess
for this, though. Let's roll to see
would
how
be
good we put this
a
together.
This is a quote unquote a disguise kit check, except the disguise kit is just what you have in the room, and none of you have this proficiency necessarily, unless you can sell me on one of you two potentially being good at sewing.
I pull out my
I'm
shears.
6. It's not occurring to me that my horn looks like an erection. So
It's
I don't
insane,
know.
though. That's what I'm
Yes to
saying.
this right now.
We would not give a fuck. Like, we were 100% going to do this. I'm just letting you, the GM, know that this is going to be there.
And I hate this. And this is what we get for making anthropomorphic.
It hadn't occurred to me, so I
as
appreciate you
characters.
pointing it out.
I hate this, and I feel like I have to tread very lightly in that this is comedy.
Yes, this is comedy.
We are
gold.
adults.
Yeah.
This is just, yeah, okay.
But I will roll to see how the thing comes. And as for my argument, I pull out the shears that I've been using for years in my dad's carpet shop. And I pull out the sewing kit that I 100% would definitely have for my my DDoS tracksuit, which I keep in mint condition.
Ah, yes, a DDoS.
DDoS.
It's got 2 stripes.
it's got 2 straps. So what about that? Was that
Sure, yeah.
I rest my case?
You've sold me.
Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. So that's just plus my proficiency.
Yeah. And actually, we have to tie it to an ability score, so it would be dexterity.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then that's a dirty 16.
You know, you're able to maybe fashion this in such a way that it actually just looks like, at least if someone did not inspect closely in the ways that you are artificially sort of like changing the dimensions of this like double suit the two of you are wearing in order to look like some one tall person who is this, government ambassador.
In a
It
hazmat
looks
suit.
convincing enough. It just probably wouldn't hold up to any sort of like actual like deep scrutiny. If someone were to look at you hard enough, or if you get too close, you know what I mean. You might be able, you know what I mean. If you hit it, so like the conversations, you're gonna want to keep them brief.
I'll try and get Liana. Like, Liana, can you take me over there? And I point at Mr. Yeti.
Well, Liana, you are the legs, so you will be steering the ship here.
I will only go
And
where
just
you go.
Steering the
Confirming.
man.
Right now, based on where my eyes are, because he just said over there and pointed, my eyes are facing the inside of a trench coat inside of a hazmat suit.
Yep.
So I
Yes.
stand there.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to give me kick signals. Just don't kick too hard.
You guys can. Don't forget, the two of you can communicate telepathically.
I was
with one
gonna
another.
just send her images
Well, yeah,
of what
okay,
I
I
can
think
see.
that, I guess.
I just start thinking of the imagery around me and start sending it to her telepathically.
Perfect. I walk the direction that I should be walking.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully.
awkward at first because you're getting the images on a kind of a delay. So like the way that the two of these are like wobbling, you know what I mean? As like
On a delay is
Nikita
funny
tries
as
to
fuck.
send the instruction and Uliana attempts to follow. There's just, it's almost like if someone, it's the brain working faster than the body, kind of in that sort of way. And
Like an
that's kinda how
extremely
it
drunk
looks.
walk.
So
Yeah, it looks a little drunk.
all right. So our government official here
/ hazmat suit guy.
has a boner and
Yes.
is stumbling around drunk.
No. They managed to fix the dimensions of the suit so that it just looks like a person.
It looks like he has a tiny boner.
No.
But
No.
As I'd say, it actually sounds very spot on for a government official.
I was gonna say we're
hate
playing the
this
part
so
well.
much.
But as I approach Mr. Yeti, I go, Mr. Yeti, you know how you didn't want to tell anyone that when you stress out and you don't take your medication, your hair kind of falls out sometimes?
Looks nervously at the ground in case there's any shedding going on. Yeah.
Can I borrow some, please?
Looks at pile of fur on the floor.
Would you mind bending down to pick it up?
I got it. Yeah. Just scoops a little bit of his stress molted fur off the ground.
I take a
The
generous.
dimensions of this are absurd.
I take a generous portion of it and fashion it into a walrus mustache on my face. I'm a hazmat suit government official. Hazmat suit government official. I think I can do this.
Does this person have a name? Does a government official have a name?
I think someone said George. I'm George. Wait, that doesn't make sense.
You should just sound authoritative and angry. Say, of course I have a name and you should know it. That's 10
Totally.
demerit points, and then just write on the clipboard.
Yes, belittle them. Belittle them into submission.
Oh no,
yes.
the line is, don't you know who I am?
Don't you know who I am? Like that?
It's actually really scary. Yes.
I think I could do this.
Okay, well, it's your time to shine. You can hear that, you can hear the sounds of activity outside. As there are people, making their way to enter this facility. Do you move further in and try to just walk your way past a bunch of scientists? Do you want to confront those who might be coming after you, who might have a better idea of what you all look like?
Question: did we get
Yeah.
Mr. Stark a better costume than a sheet on his head or a pillowcase?
That's a great question, Mr. Stark. Do you have a better costume than a pillowcase on your face?
We had a bunch of stuff.
Would you like?
Yeah, I
a
popped
better
a bunch
costume?
of lockers. There's lab coats and shit available.
hats, masks? I have shears and sewing kit. If you need me to make
Morris,
you something custom.
and Morris, same question to you, honestly. Do you do it? Actually, honestly, the adults, do you do anything further to mask your own identities to blend in with the other, again, many kinds of anthropomorphized creatures that are working in this facility?
I'll wait for someone else to go. Who has a-
No.
Yeah,
have
before
an
we
answer.
leave here, Yeti wants to try to, if the coveralls say carpet on them, we need to find a name badge to go over the top of that carpet
Sure,
company
yeah, and you're able to do that.
stuff. Yeah.
Your name is now Julius.
Morris has probably undone half of the coverall at this point and tied it around his waist maybe and gotten real relaxed with it, And there's probably at this point, while we've been figuring out what to do,
He's just got an AT on underneath it. That's all it
There's
is.
probably a significant pile of cigarettes that are probably accumulating at his feet also.
But this
And he's
disgusting.
like, yes, we're looking pretty good. We look like we work here, honestly. I better go check on my paycheck.
Just
Wink, and then I slow wink at one of them.
just so you know, Mike, there is a doctor's full lab coat and name tag and key card and stuff available that nobody has used yet. We could leave it here, but I'm just letting you know that it still exists.
I don't know anything about doctoring.
Do you know things about espionage and sneaking in and infiltrating a base?
No.
Good, we're all pretending. It's called acting, Mr. Stark. You'll be very good at it.
Now, you've been in plenty of commercials, Brock Stark. That is something you do know about.
Liberty bibbity.
I saw that commercial with my dad. It played 400 times in one shift. Good commercial. You did great.
Okay.
That's
So
how
we're
I
gonna
imagine. That's how I imagine Stark being in a commercial. Is just absolute ding dongy
I'm just yeah.
says the words, doesn't really have any sort of intonation to it.
I imagine everyone is just putting on different uniforms that can kind of fit them and grabbing clipboards or other things like masks or, protective, PPE type stuff to I don't know, just slightly alter their appearance from what it was before, except for, I guess, Morris, who is just kind of leaning into the casual aspect like he's some kind of greased up engineer. It's really, even though, again, no relation between Morris DeLume and Shum DeLume.
No relation.
None.
Starting to really get some very, very similar
None.
vibes, even though different species.
All right. I think we are ready. Let's go steal a spaceship.
You move further into the facility. You can see that, like, as you passing by some of the scientists on your way to the doors that lead further into this building.
Hey, how you
They
doing?
do kind of give you some quizzical looks. As all of you pass by, got the hey, how you doing? You got it. Every character. Most of them pay you no mind, but there are, you see like some others like kind of whispering like, oh, I think the secretary's on the move. You can hear on. Did anyone take the radio, or was that left behind?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
You can
Maybe-
hear like you can hear some of the conversations. Oh, it's like you could hear. You can hear just like some of the communications, like talk about how the secretary's on the move. Is moving into the to the launch platform. Like the staging area.
Have they
has
at any
anyone
point
seen the
referred to
kids?
us as anything except the secretary yet?
That is all they
No,
have
like
referred
Secretary
to
Brown, Secretary
Nope.
Bob, just
the secretary.
Okay, cool.
I'll stop immediately at the most nervous-looking scientist that I can find and go, "Excuse me, sir, which way to the staging area?"
This is a turtle man, and he just like slowly turns to you and he just goes, "Oh, hello, Mr. Secretary. I'm sorry, where is it you are trying to go? Is this part of the tour? Oh, I'm not prepared for this. Let me get my supervisor.
No, this is great. You are doing great. I will give you money.
That's not how I. That won't be necessary.
Great. I'm gonna roll deception.
I think the government already gives us money. He thinks like to himself, like, I think in some roundabout way, actually, you do kind of already give me money. Not
That's right.
maybe,
I
like,
am government.
you directly, but like the machinations of like government funding into private ventures.
Don't you know who I am? I yell I yell at him.
Mr.
loud as
Secretary,
fuck.
we don't have time for this.
I just want to know where
Right.
the staging area is. Can you please?
Yes, just through these doors, you will see the viewing platform.
I just
And
start
then below
walking.
that,
I'm like, just my whole upper is turning to look at.
nice to meet. What was his name?
Enjoy money.
Know his name? Don't you know who he is?
Jesus Christ! I
Hey,
need
man.
you to make me
We are
sort of
crushing
a post conversation deception roll.
Love that.
Sebastian, aka Nikita, aka Secretary.
I don't love that. I don't love that. We don't have any skill proficiencies, do we?
No.
Yeah.
Can I help in any way
Not
by being really
really.
convincing legs or something?
Sure. By
Thank
being really
best legs.
convincing legs.
Thank you so much. Does that mean I get advantage? Is that how this works?
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro! I rolled a 2. I was so confident too. I was about to get fucked.
You had your
Oh.
charisma too.
Okay, yeah, my charisma is a +4. It's my highest stat, and that would be a dirty 19. Thank you, Nicole. Or else that would have been a 6.
Really convincing legs. Really are what's selling this now.
While
You guys
she's
are
walking,
in sync.
while she's
able to, like,
walking,
almost predict your movement.
I had
now
like,
before you even
I had
send
the
it to her.
perfect sass stomp that went along with the don't you know who I
Brother.
am. I had like,
while you are confidently walking away, my 6 is represented as my body has never stopped turning away from facing this
I'm
turtle.
also going to need, as sort of the entourage, it seems to be that everyone is assuming that you are on a tour, Mr. Secretary.
Sure.
And so I would like for your entourage to make me some performance rolls to see, you know, what kind of tour guides are among us.
Woo!
Be giving a tour of a facility that they've never been in.
Guys, this is going really well. I have faith in you.
Yeti.
It comes to a 17 with the -1.
Okay. Okay. You have worked at least for the IAI before, so you know a thing or two about this stuff. Morris, how's that performance check?
It's actually a 13.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Honestly, that's more than
It's
I was
respectable.
expecting.
10 plus
Well,
3.
I think your friends were going to help lift that anyway. Brock Stark. How about you for a performance roll?
Yeah, Brock, are you able to pretend to be a member of the IAI?
I might have just rolled a nat 20.
Okay. You are all able to at least give the facsimile.
It was the commercial practice. It was all the commercials
was.
that
There
I
it
did.
is. Yes. Yeah.
Gave me the
You are
practice.
able to talk in circles about absolutely fucking nothing as you approach. Essentially the like what's level with you is sort of the viewing platform, and then set down below you can see what appears to be like, a large spacecraft that is horizontal. It kind of looks almost like a space shuttle type thing, where it's like, it has like landing like pinions, and it has what appear to be like VTOL like jets that could help it go vertical and then horizontal then vertical. But it's currently horizontal. You can see that there's a bunch of like stuff all around it, like a bunch of equipment attached to it, hoses and things like that coming out of it, going to various devices down below. You can see that there's a bunch of different people working around it. It looks at least as though it has been constructed. And above you can actually see this gigantic dome, right? That's closed. Up here on the platform, there's like, this in this sort of viewing area. There's a, like on this platform, there's also what appears to be a sealed off control room that might operate maybe some of the equipment around the craft. You can see there's actually, the platform can potentially raise and lower depending on if they want to, move or lift the craft higher outside of like the bay in which it's being worked in. And there are dozens of people all buzzing around, and some of them like stop, briefly as they see the ambassador, or not the ambassador, the secretary, walk through the doors.
I'm the secretary.
You see people like start standing a little bit straighter as like the tour is being given. So far, the ruse is holding, but like no one has stopped really to look that closely quite yet. What's our play here? What's the end game? What's our goal?
I mean, the legs are just gonna walk with confidence in the direction that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think just we kind of have to. What is our ideal outcome here?
I'm sorry, did you say that the spaceship is done being constructed or is mostly constructed?
It appears done.
Excellent. Well, yeah, we're gonna take it up to space then. That's
Stored away on the ship.
we're going to find Dad.
Yeah.
Wait for heat to die down.
That's really it. Is we try to get as close to the ship as we can get away with.
Someone will have to stay in the control room to launch the ship, I suppose. Maybe Morris?
Do you want to go to space or do you want to launch the spaceship? Who doesn't want to go to space?
Yeah, I mean, if Brock Stock is going, then I don't want to miss out stealing a spaceship with Brock Stock.
Now, Brock, your intention was never to take any of these people with you to space. You're waiting for your crew to show up.
Yes.
I mean, we're happy to go with your crew too.
Yeah. But you aren't taking us with.
But also, they're going to have a hell of a time getting in here.
Guys, I'm talking to the weird voice inside my head. I'm not talking to any of you. You can't hear the voice inside my head.
Yeah. This is a private conversation.
This is see your way out of it. A-B conversation.
I already talked to the voice in my head. It's your turn.
Yeah, I guess like I rely a lot on my crew to do a lot of like the strategic stuff of the flying.
Yeah, and the operation of the craft and all the pieces that go along with actually knowing how to fly a spaceship.
Yeah, like I know how to fly the ship and I am the face of the crew, but for the most part, like they do all of the ins and outs of how to fly the ship. So my concern right now is that I need to get the ship, and these people seem to be the way I'm gonna get the ship, but somehow I've got to figure out how to get my crew on the ship and these wonderful helpers not on the ship. That's where I'm at, but I don't know how to do that. Like Brock is not the strategist in his crew.
Yeah.
So Brock's gonna end up going to space with kids, is what we're doing.
His eyes are just kind of shifting, and like he's not really sure where his crew is. So I guess that's kind of like that's what he's trying to do, is trying to find them and see like if he can get eyes on them so that he can connect with them quicker, sooner than later.
Good luck.
Well,
yeah, what did happen to them? They were right behind us.
They were right there.
And they did not blast through security, probably.
Well, that sounds like a them problem.
We don't know what happened to them. We don't know what happened to them.
That's what I'm asking. What happened to them? Can we camera cut? We don't get the camera cut right
can
now,
we camera cut? I mean, you don't get to see that. It's not happening where you are right now.
Yeah, our POV is not.
Yeah.
I could expose that potentially, through other means like the radio or something like that, but we're not there yet.
Okay, so let me
we're at a decision point here.
Let me play this. So I've got some slight charisma. So could I potentially figure out how to use the fact that we've got this like momentum with the secretary and try to get my crew in through security? If it fails, it fails miserably, but I'm good with that.
Okay, interesting. I wonder if I could add another wrinkle into this, but
of course,
I guess you guys can start making your way down to the ship if you want. I mean, you're going to have to start going around this, like, this viewing platform and start following some of these like staircases that, kind of spiral down and into this pit. Maybe even take a lift down at one point. There are some, like, again, a lot of whispers as all of you are, coming down to the radio, is again buzzing with like, again, as you move, secretary on the move, make sure the ship's looking pristine, just like get all the cleaning crews out of there. Let's just, just open her up. And you can see that, by the time you get down there, like, they have, Like there's like a door in the rear or like the side of the ship with like a set of stairs, kind of like you would see like, you know, like extended out, like, you know, like from it, like you would see almost like if you were to manually board like an aircraft, right? Except these seem to be extended out from the ship itself and could be retracted back into the hull. And there's like, you know, there are some people standing very proudly, like, you know, with their hands kind of like behind their backs, you know, like, or like standing at like a sort of like attention or, you know, respect as you approach.
At relax.
The craft. And you can see one of them comes forward and just says, "Oh, Mr. Secretary, it is so good to finally meet. My name is, and this is a gift woman. My name is Dr. Marie Patam, and I would like to formally welcome you to this facility and showcase what we have here as sort of the latest and greatest, and you know, our next essentially attempt to launch a rescue mission, rescue. You know what's going on. A rescue mission, you know, for the crew that was lost, and we believe that this craft would hold up far more, and we believe that the crew selection process is going well, and it's just we're very, very excited to show you this, that we do have things under control. We assure the intergalactic parliament that everything's on the up and up. Definitely no emergencies or anything else like that. You know, we've really we've fired a lot of people and, you know, put some new folks in charge, and we're just really we're really trying to make sure that we're earning that government funding. You know. I've spoken too much.
Coffee! I request the adult drink coffee.
Oh no. Please make me a deception check.
Come on, deception. Don't let me down.
Can I help by being really deceptive, Legs?
No. No. You had convincing legs before. But guilty feet ain't got no rhythm. Someone said that once.
Okay, I was frozen. Did you guys hear me or nothing?
No, I did not hear your roll.
Cool.
I was too busy quoting Careless Whisper.
I missed all of it. I'm so sad because I was frozen. Everyone was frozen for a second. But I rolled a 12 on the die with a +4. That is a dirty 16.
A dirty 16. I mean, you get a bit of a head turn from the doctor, but she says, "I'm so sorry. Did they not offer you refreshments or anything like that?"
No.
Right?
Do you know who I am?
For you. I do. I'm so sorry.
You better run.
I never.
You better run.
This is highly inefficient.
Okay, you see that the doctor sends for someone to go get coffee.
You don't get it yourself.
Sir, she's a doctor. The doctors don't get the coffee. I'm sorry.
Doctors don't drink coffee.
No, doctors don't get coffee. You have to understand with these politicians, they're a little out of touch.
Right.
I was waiting for that.
And I'm sorry, I don't recognize your entourage. I mean, who has been leading your tour? Like I said, there's been many new faces. I'm sorry. Has everything been to your satisfaction?
I don't know. You haven't let us in yet.
I meant for the rest of the facility, Secretary.
Do you know who I am?
do, and I know that you're here.
I
For
give Ileana a
inspection.
little kick. Like,
And I'm just curious,
How
I guess,
does he
to
read?
know how the inspection has been going so far, and if everything so far has been to your satisfaction.
that seems like you don't make enough money to know.
An
I keep
absolutely
kicking
dumbfounded
Ileana. I
look
keep
on the
kicking
doctor's
Ileana.
face. Dr. Patam is absolutely gobsmacked.
Sir, we really need to get going.
That's what I keep trying to tell this inefficient adult.
Okay, so
Holy shit.
where are the doors? Where can I get this guy to?
I thought she was standing in front of the door. I thought that's where we were
Yes,
at.
to the stairs that lead into the spacecraft.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. That's where I keep trying to spur Ileana to go, but the fact that she hasn't yet has created this great moment.
I'm
Please,
sorry, I start
right this
walking
way.
towards the spaceship.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna need a
if we
dexterity. Please, I'm gonna need a dexterity saving throw from Uliana, and actually Nikita, to just kind of see how we balance as his hands have to grab the railing, and your feet have to navigate the stairs. I just want to see how unnatural this looks.
So you wanted a deck save, you said?
It's a 14.
That's good. That is really,
It's like, okay, I'm
Really
just saying,
good.
yeah,
That is- no,
best
that
roll
is-
of the night. But
like I'm
Really
just thinking
good.
like that bug guy from Men in Black. Like
Yeah. Yeah, just like twitching unnaturally.
well,
Vincent D'Onofrio.
with my,
Yeah.
with my, I get my modifier dex, with my
Yeah.
4.
Uh-huh.
As the legs keep moving, I will do the same thing I did earlier, and the entire upper torso of the secretary there's a lag between when they start going up the stairs and when they actually turn their body to grab the railing.
It's just so unnatural.
It is very uncanny valley with my 4.
Okay. The
Like we said,
doctor
out of touch.
seems to wait behind briefly and appears to whisper something onto a radio, but it does not happen to trigger on whatever frequency yours is tuned to.
Of course.
that's shady.
You board the still currently unnamed ship. It's very cramped in here. Nikita, you kind of almost have to duck down because of just, your combined height is you're kind of bouncing off of some of the things. Like, this is a very cramped environment. There's an area where there's like some seating. You can see a cockpit, that has all the different instrumentation. There's a ton of different, where all the different seats are. I mean, many different instruments, levers, switches, lights, nothing that you've ever seen before. Nothing that looks familiar. Half the things are barely even fucking labeled. And if they are labeled, you have no idea what those symbols or words even mean. You are suddenly looking at just a whole bunch of technology that you've never seen before in your life. Even though you did watch that quote unquote documentary about
And we did get lessons.
rocket science.
We did get lessons from an AI.
You did. I will say that you
got lessons from essentially Chat GPT.
you got lessons from some kind of AI instructor that's intended to teach children things, or at least that's how it was being put to use. And, with a week's worth of potential crash courses in rocket science, I don't know if a week is enough to prepare you to truly know how to operate
Of
a
course not.
fucking spaceship.
But it is more than enough to believe that I do.
yeah, I mean, look at what we've accomplished so far. We can Calvin and Hobbes our way through this and make it through
Or-
space, I'm pretty sure.
You know what?
Listen,
Or, and hear me out, We have the actual spaceship captain that's with us.
Yeah.
And we turned to
Brock.
look. Is Brock with us still?
Yes. Now,
He
and
has
somehow has not been recognized. I was rolling for people to see most of the rolls I was doing on
Yeah, I
my own
figured
over
you
here were
would.
just to see if anyone would recognize one of the most famous or infamous Minotaur on the planet. But the disguises are holding up.
I love that. Either people
So-
are really, really bad
that-
at their own
I
perception,
will
or
say that the suspicions have been cast. Definitely after some of the strange walking you just did. You can already tell that just because the
That's
walls have been
racist.
closing in. The walls have been closing in this whole time, really, for you, Brock. You know that it's only a matter of time before the jig is going to be up, and this is the closest you've ever come to to actually being behind the controls of an actual spaceship. Everything else has been a simulator, and even that, it's been at least a year since you've done any of those. But here it is. It's even more grand, or at least in design, or at least more sleek than the first model ever was. But they changed some of the levers and some of the knobs and dials and things like that. And well, you didn't have to operate half of these instruments. You know what I mean? You only had to worry about what was, you just got to put your hands in some jelly.
right.
Because we're keeping consistent with that theme.
Yes.
I'm still kind of keeping an eye out for my crew. I guess like
Oh yeah, no.
I'm not gonna get them.
At least let him have some
like,
hope.
Am I stuck with these guys? Like, is that like? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm gonna let you think to yourself, Brock, for a moment, that in order for that crew to reach you, they'd have to fight their way through dozens of security guards and other things like that, and then find you in this facility and know that you're on this ship. You have really no way to contact them either. At least, no way that you can see right now. I mean, there is a comms console that could broadcast to just outside the ship. Maybe you even tunes to other communication frequencies, you know what I mean? Like in other radio frequencies. You'd have to poke around at that. There might be an opportunity to broadcast, but if you broadcast something, a whole lot of people might hear that. But is that the angle, or are you just like, you really want this as your crew?
I'm hold on. Okay, so we've got the comms. We've got potential ability to broadcast something.
Uh-huh.
And I have some commercial experience.
Oh no.
If I do say so myself. So could Brock potentially use the comms to fake a welcoming message, but somehow
A
code
welcoming
it,
message, huh?
hoping that my crew would hear it to meet me at the comms. I don't know.
That seems
I'm desperate.
pretty far-fetched there, but if you could find some way to cipher a message and just hope that they're listening on some frequency and able to break themselves free from potentially captivity.
Wait, do I know that they're captive though?
No.
Yeah,
No.
so
But
I'm
it's
running
just-
on
it's-
that. Yeah. I don't know necessarily that that's happened. So, am I able to sneak away from said group to the to the comm station?
Yeah.
And then, so the first thing is I have to know what buttons to push.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do I know
It
what
is
buttons
tight.
to push?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I'm curious to know what this message is because this is going to be potentially another cliffhanger.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd
great.
say the timing here.
All right. So, I push the buttons to broadcast.
Just pick a frequency.
Yeah, I'm gonna just guesswork it. 'Cause
Vibing.
I don't think
Yep.
he really has the experience with this.
We'll roll
but
something
he's gonna go
after.
for it.
Give the speech first.
Yeah.
I want the speech first, and then we'll roll the die after.
Welcome, and thank you for visiting. This is Brock Stark,
What the
Captain,
hell's he doing?
and I am here to thank you for being here to visit my ship. I am not really here. This is just a voiceover. But all I have to say is that if you want to go to space with Brock Stark, you should do your best to learn how to fly a ship and come with me to Continuum and further. Thank you again for visiting my ship. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Grant, so now that you've officially blown all of our cover, can we hit the button? Because they're probably coming.
Before you even finish that sentence, you just hear a whole bunch of shouting outside of the ship. Oh, I rolled a 1.
Oh,
Yes!
You hear no.
Good. No, I was gonna say that's not for us. That's against
No.
us.
Mm.
What you mean?
It's for something.
You hear, all right, everybody out of the spaceship now. And that's where I'm going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Oh no.
How dare they talk to the secretary like that?
The secretary.
The
Coffee!
The adult
adult
beverage
Don't you
of
know who I
coffee.
am?
You guys told me to say that. That was all you guys. That's why it succeeded. It was all you
It was
guys.
so good.
That was not at all how I was expecting this to go.
I'm
Again,
sorry,
yes.
Fred.
No, this is why I love surprises and why I should never ever prepare anything.
When I play
You know,
Nikita,
let that
it
be-
possesses me, man. It
No, it's great. It's great. It's great. We'll have to cut back to this again in the future.
6 months
Probably
from
in
now.
smaller. No.
Oh.
Much sooner than that.
Ooh.
Because there will be some aligning of storylines, some skipping, some assumptions, maybe. We'll see. But this is not the last that we are seeing clearly of this hapless mini crew.
Weirdly did a heist better than the actual crew.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, we live in a cartoon fantasy where we get to just like have really silly fun with these types of ideas, you know. And I mean, it does, you know, I really am trying to continue to highlight the general incompetence of
Yeah, dude.
the IAI.
No, this is
and-
exactly how stealing a spaceship would go in real life. This is
Like
pretty
this,
much
it's
real.
so Flight of the Navigator kind of thing going
Oh,
on.
Yeah. And you know, we're here to have a good time. So anyway, if you want to
Send it to friend in the past.
talk about this, if you want to talk about this stuff with us on the internet, you can listen to me tell you where to find us, and you know, we'll be back after those messages. Thank you all for listening. If you like what we do, you can find all of our links in one convenient place, and that is our link tree. It's just linktr.ee/haplessheroes. There, you'll find our social media, merch, and Patreon, but most importantly, you will find the crown jewel of our internet presence, and that is our Discord server. It is free to join, and it's where the cast and I hang out the most, chatting with you, our amazing audience, about the show, sharing memes, and geeking out about all things nerdy and delightful. We'd love to have you be a part of that community. Now, if you really like us, please consider leaving us a 5-star rating or review on the podcast service of your choice. It means the world to us. It helps new listeners find the show, and if we spot your review, we'll give you a shout out right here as the 5-star human that you are. Now, if you really, really like us, you can support the show directly by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/haplessheroes. It's also linked on our link tree. We have a treasure trove of bloopers, bonus content, and even some out-of-character episodes from our many years of adventuring together. Some of those we've even released for free. So please, check it out. That's all for now, though. So let's kick it back to the crew in the future. Thanks, me. This is still weird. I know I said I was committing to the bit at some point in the past, but it's really hard for me to fully commit to the bit when it's still weird to talk to me in the past, but also me in the future, because I also talk to me as the editor, and it becomes this very strange cycle. I don't know what time I exist in anymore, but that's okay, because I have this perfectly round table to ground myself at again. And we're going to go around that one last time and outro this cast before I throw this table into the void. Starting in the opposite order of which they were introduced. Lewis, Morris DeLue, homeowner and felon?
And homeowner. Don't forget
And
a homeowner.
Right, yes, and homeowner.
Back to back.
Sebastian as Nikita Zangief.
Don't you know who I am? I am government. You want money?
Nicole as Uliana Zangief, aka Convincing Legs.
Stands convincingly.
Mike as Captain Brock Stark.
That is the Brock Stark.
Dave as Yeti.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna molt my entire coat.
I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM, and now you say your name. No, go on. It's fine. You can say it.
Nicole.
And we'll see you next time. Goodbye now.
Bye.
Goodbye.